first regular meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court for May of 2021. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone or ask everyone if they would put their phones on silent or turn them off so that we don't disturb the meeting. We don't have a tremendously long agenda, and but we're going to try to move through this as quick as we can, so to get everybody out of here at a reasonable hour. So with that being said, I'd like to ask Commissioner Larry back there. Larry, would you like to say the invocation for us? Larry Penix, who's the chaplain at Pike Medical Center, if he'd come up and say the invocation for us.
I'm actually here too to represent the National Day of Prayer, and so is it all right if I go ahead and mention
Absolutely.
that? Okay. National Day of Prayer, we want to invite everyone again, and I know you guys are aware of that. It's this Thursday at noon at the park, at the city park, and we just want to invite. We've got some wonderful people going to be praying, several pastors, business leaders, and so we wanted to begin by praying for you. I know we're always praying for our leaders, and we thank you for what you do in our community. So at this time, we'll go to the Lord in prayer. Lord, we are thankful that we have this opportunity to be here today and to be represented and to represent, Lord, our community and the event, Lord, that's getting ready to take place on Thursday with the National Day of Prayer. If there ever was a time that we needed prayer, it's today. And if there ever was a time, Lord, when we need to humble ourselves and recognize our need for something greater than ourselves, it is now. And so, Lord, we pray for this body here tonight. We pray for our community, for our state and our nation. And God, we ask you to help us. And for those, Lord, here tonight and the decisions that they have to make, guard them, guide them, and Lord, just inspire them to do great things for you. We thank you for this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, sir. And it was an honor to be able to sign the proclamation earlier this week. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Judge Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Tackett.
Here.
Commissioner Booth.
Here.
We have a quorum and we are ready to proceed. I would like to ask a special guest, Miss Lauren Jones, my daughter, if she would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I'll hear about that tonight, and that's the quietest I've ever seen her. Thank you, sis. All right. Next item. She'll probably tell her mom. The next item is approval of minutes for the April 20th, 2021 meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court. Is there a motion to approve? Motion. We have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Robertson. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Next item is the deals with the recommendation from a selection committee and approval to hire an engineering firm for FEMA Disaster 4361 Upper Pond Creek Acquisition and Bank Stabilization Project and authorization to execute all related documents. Brian, would you please just explain what this project is and give the public some information on this and explain what we're doing?
Judge, this is up at Stone over on Pond Creek up on 199. This project is where the creek is kept washing the bank out and toward these homes and stuff. It'll be the demolition of 3 homes. Two homes will be on the 199 side of Main Pond Creek. One of them will be on the county side on Sullivan Street. This project is a $621,000 some odd project. Once the homes are destroyed and hauled off, then the creek will be straightened back up into its original format as close as it can be done. So this is a I think it's 75% federal, 13% county, and 12% state. So this will set the creek back to where it doesn't keep eroding out property toward the other homes in this area.
Yeah, this is a project that came to my attention actually before I took office, and thank Mr. Kaiser for working on this. This does threaten some homes. There's one home there that the yard had essentially been eroded to the point where it was back almost up under the home. So is there a motion to approve and authorize the execution of all related documents related to FEMA Disaster 4361, the Upper Pond Creek Acquisition and Bank Stabilization Project?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Is there any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. The other, next item is approval to execute an interlocal agreement with the city of Pikeville regarding Kewanee Road. Do we have that ready yet, Mr. Downey? I should say Colonel Downey.
No, we still need on that. The terms that they sent us were not, in my opinion. It's probably you and Deputy Judge and I need to talk about that.
Well, what we need to do is reach out to Rusty Davis, the city attorney, and set up a meeting with him to try to get that done.
His mother-in-law just passed.
I do, and I do, while we mentioned that, Alice Kendrick, who, a longtime active participant in the Pike County Democratic Women's Club and Pike County Democratic politics, tremendous lady. She passed away, so probably late next week or the week after, let's see if we can set a meeting up with him and maybe Philip Ellswick, the city manager, or Mayor Carter, and see if we can just hash out the rest of these details so we can get this done.
We just thought, given the circumstances, it probably wasn't a good time to try.
I would agree with that. All right, thank you. So we'll pass over that. The next item is the approval for an appointment to the Big Sandy Heritage Museum Board. It will be my motion to nominate Sarah George for a 4-year term. She has been the information officer at the Highway Department, District 12, for the past 21 years. Former member of the Kentucky Heritage Council, chairman of the Pikeville Main Street Program for 10 years. Former publisher and editor of the Appalachian News Express. So it would be my motion to appoint Sarah George to a 4-year term on the Big Sandy Heritage Museum Board. Would there be a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Next item is the approval to execute the court facilities local government reimbursement forms for fiscal year 2022, which will run from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Frankie, can you give an update on this and explain the purpose of it?
Judge, it's just our agreement with AOC of what they will reimburse and what they won't reimburse. The amount of the reimbursement we'll get in 4 quarterly installments throughout next year. But it's just our annual agreement with them that we've had for quite some number of years now.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the execution of the court facilities local government reimbursement form for fiscal year 2022 regarding the Pike Judicial Center?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? See none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Johnson.
Yes. All right, the next item is the first reading of the 2020-2021 proposed budget for the Pike County Fiscal Court. And this is the amendment to the current budget that will expire on June 30th. Frankie, would you please explain the need for this amendment?
Judge, this is amendment number 2 to our current fiscal year budget. There were a couple of grants we received that needed to be amended into our budget. One of them was the CARES Act money. We got a second round of $660,000. The new stimulus money that we're supposed to get sometime next week, the $5.6 million. The ATV Flatwoods acquisition, coal severance project, and then I needed to amend the revenue for solid waste to cover expenses so the fund will balance for this fiscal year.
All right, so Mr. Downey, would you please present the first reading of the proposed amendment number 2 to the current fiscal year budget?
Judge, this is an ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas Pike County, Kentucky has realized unbudgeted receipts, be it ordained by Pike County of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, current fiscal year 2020 to 2021, the budget for the current year is amended to increase the figures that were mentioned by the treasurer. It totals $7,990,637 overall, and those will go into the appropriate accounts and then be dispersed from there.
And I would point out that no further action will be necessary at this time. We will have to act on this. It'll be ready for a vote at the next meeting. And I just wanted to point out that the majority of this unbudgeted money is the American Rescue Plan funds that we still have not received. So hopefully we'll get those in the near future, and we can start working on some significant water and sewer projects. All right. The next item on the agenda is the first reading of the 2021-2022 budget of the Pike County Fiscal Court by proposed budget ordinance. Mr. Downey, would you please, I should ask, are there any proposed amendments to that document that we need to pass out or consider before giving the proposed budget a first reading? All right. Mr. Downey, please proceed.
Judge, proposed budget revenues of Pike County Fiscal Court, fund type government, all funds, all departments. This is for our fiscal year upcoming 2021 through 2022. The budget has a total of $52,968,850. This is a quite lengthy document which has been presented to the commissioners, and if the public would like a copy of it, all that money goes into an account and it will be dispersed from there.
All right.
There's
So-
no vote required tonight on this.
Thank you, sir. So this item also will be the budget. I guess at this point in time, we'll go ahead and send it down, Frankie, to Department of Local Government for review. And then when we get that back from the Department of Local Government, whenever that may be, then we'll be ready to act on it to have our budget in place by July 1st. So we have ample time to get this done, and we're on track to get it done timely. The next item is the first reading of a proposed road ordinance establishing a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit for Hayes Road, County Route 1158. Mr. Downey, would you please present the first reading? Before we do that, does the court have any questions or comments about this?
On the speed limit, Judge?
Yes.
You know, I don't know if we can do this or not. I get quite a few calls on different calls about this. Are there any way that we can kindly do a grandfather county roads, or is that something
I don't understand.
like for example, I've had, what, Fabian, 3 or 4 that we've done that we need to do, and I just wonder if maybe we just put them all in one and grandfather county roads as a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit, or
Well, I mean, I would personally be opposed to doing a blanket ordinance for all county roads at 15 miles an hour. I mean,
I didn't know if that was something possible that we could do to just.
I think you need to do them road by road so we can look at the individual roads, but.
Where's this road at? Grapevine.
I mean, there's roads, that, say Upper Cloy, you wouldn't want to do a 15-mile-an-hour road on Upper Cloy or 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. We've got some roads that would be just too slow. I think we need to do it road by road if there are requests from the people that live there, and let Fabian, as the road supervisor, who's had the training and the experience to do that, decide what he thinks a reasonable speed limit will be and do it road by road, as opposed to trying to lump them all in together.
I know we can't put slow children playing anymore on roads, can we, Fabian? No, we cannot. That is illegal. Yep. So we probably need to go road to.
Like I said, I didn't know if it would, just speed up some.
What's the speed limit on your road up there at Bayfine?
We can post speed limits, we can set speed limits for county roads, but I think they need to be done if we perceive a need in a certain road. It would be possible, if you wanted to set a blanket speed limit for all county roads at 35 miles an hour. I don't think that would be unreasonable, but you don't want to do it 15 miles an hour for all county roads or something.
Right. Like I said,
Are they? Okay.
that's the max on it. Or okay. That's the only thing I had. Just
Judge, do you wish me to proceed with the reading?
If there's no objection, please proceed.
Ordinance establishing a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit for Pike County Road 1158 Haynes Road. Whereas approximately 8 residents of Haynes Roads have petitioned the Pike County Fiscal Court to establish a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit on Hayes Road. And whereas the public welfare and safety of these residents, as well as all residents of Pike County, are of utmost importance, the court will adopt a 15-mile-an-hour speed limits, and this is under the provisions of KRS 189.394.
Thank you, sir. And that also will be ready for action at the second regular meeting in May, once it's been advertised. Now, I do need to go back to the first item on the agenda. There was a mistake on the agenda. The issue with the recommendation from a selection committee to hire an engineering firm for Upper Pond Creek, I need a motion to reconsider the vote by which that vote was taken. Would there be a motion to do that? Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. So we have a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. This is to reconsider the vote that was taken.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
yes.
Commissioner Booth, Judge Jones.
Yes. So here's the way the motion should have been stated, and it's not laid out on the agenda, and I didn't catch it thanks to Judge Hickman, he did. Would there be a motion based upon the recommendation of a selection committee using guidelines established under the Code of Federal Regulations to evaluate various proposals from engineering firms for FEMA Disaster 4361 Upper Pond Creek Acquisition Bank Stabilization Project to retain the services of Palmer Engineering and to execute all necessary documents? Would there be a motion?
Motion.
With motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. There's no other question or discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Next item is the awarding of bids. I'd like to ask the county's procurement officer, Mr. Fannin, purchasing director, Mr. Fannin, to come up, please. You have the floor, sir, and we'll try to go through these as quickly as possible.
I do have a few things, Judge. First of all, we had a bid opening on April 30th, 2021 on bid number 19-2021 for one 2014 or newer Class 8 asphalt tack truck. We received one bid. It was from JFW Equipment in Climax, North Carolina. Their total delivered cost would be $113,000. Truck meets all the specifications that were laid out in the bid package. Because of the amount of asphalt that we put down and the amount we're paying to get it put down, it would not be my recommendation to buy this truck. We would have to be putting down 300 plus miles of asphalt a year for it to be cost effective to buy our own truck.
I wish we could put 300 miles
Right.
down, but we're gonna make a substantial dent in that this year. So.
We're paying 50 cents a ton, 50 cents a gallon right now to put tack down. We're using between 300 and 350 gallons per mile, so it's costing us between $150 and $175 a mile. With the cost of this truck and the extra expense of fuel, insurance, labor, driver, and benefits, the high maintenance that it would take on this type of vehicle, it would take a tremendous amount of asphalt put down for it to be cost effective for us to buy our own truck.
So is there a motion to not award the bid for the asphalt tack truck?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, the second to the motion by Commissioner Tackett not to award the bid or purchase this tack truck. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes, and I think that's a wise decision. It's going to be more economical to get it the way we're getting it rather than spending this money. All right, Mr. Fannin, please proceed.
Also on April 30th, 2021, we had a bid opening on bid number 20-2021 for four 2021 or newer one-ton trucks. We received one bid. It was from Bruce Walters Ford. They have four identical trucks, and the bid price is $39,683 for a total of all four of $158,732. These trucks meet all the specifications that were in the bid package. It'd be my recommendation that we award the bid to Bruce Walters Ford for four trucks at the bid price of $39,683 each, or a total of $158,732, also to allow the treasurer to issue payment.
Is there a motion to award bid number 20-2021 for four 2021 or newer one-ton trucks to Walters Ford in Pikeville, Kentucky for the stated sum of $158,732? Based upon Mr. Fannin's recommendation, is there a motion?
Motion.
Also, authorization for the treasurer to issue payment.
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth, Judge Jones.
Yes. Anything else, sir?
Yes, sir. In the last court meeting, I was asked to try to kind of look around and see what we could find as far as a sweeper to use for our road department that we could use to more or less clean the existing asphalt before we applied new asphalt. I looked around at some dedicated sweeper trucks, those kind of vehicles, and in the used market, what I could find that looked decent, most of them were in the $30,000 to $35,000 range. I got to thinking that, what might work for us is if we would buy a skid steer and buy a sweeper attachment for the front of us. One thing, we're getting a brand new piece of equipment instead of hoping to depend on a piece of used equipment. But a skid steer is a lot more versatile piece of equipment. We would not only be able to use it just to sweep while we're putting down asphalt, but it's a piece of equipment that we could use year-round for other applications by putting a bucket on it or putting forks on it or a great number of attachments they make for it. I did get a couple quotes on a skid steer. I got a quote from Bobcat and I got a quote from Case. Bobcat has about 5 different size skid steers. The biggest one they make, really the only need for that is if you have an attachment that uses a high volume of hydraulic, like a piece of agriculture equipment or a stump grinder or something like that. I got a quote on the next 2 largest, which would work with a sweeper for either one of us, for either one of them with a sweeper. The bigger one, the S76 Bobcat, now because we're going to use it with a sweeper truck, I got it priced with an enclosed cab to stay away from the dust, and it'll have heat and air conditioning and that kind of thing in it. This will also come with a 74-inch heavy-duty bucket and a bolt-on cutting edge so that we could use it for other applications. The skid steer itself is priced, and this is on state contract, the skid steer itself is priced $42,650.74, and the 84-inch angle broom attachment is $5,346.84, for a total for the piece of equipment with the broom would be $47,997.58. That's for the bigger of the Bobcats. I also got a price from Case on a SV185B. The SV185B case is actually smaller than both of these other Bobcats that I got a price on. The price of that machine, which is on our Sourcewell contract, is $45,247. The 84-inch broom for the case is $8,586.61, bringing that total to $53,833.61. I think if we decide to go that way on a sweeper and go with a skid steer with an attachment, which I think will be more versatile, I think the Bobcat is a little bit bigger piece of equipment. It's on state contract, and it is about almost $6,000 less expensive. So I think if the court is going to buy a sweeper, instead of spending $30,000 or $35,000 for a dedicated sweeper, that we might be a lot better off going this way with this type of piece of equipment. Something I kind of discussed with Fabian, and he was kind of in agreement with that.
Mr. Little, you have the floor.
In my opinion, Judge, if we're going to put down all this blacktop, we do have to have a broom. We have to have something to sweep these roads with. And as Mr. Fannin had said there, this piece of equipment it's something we can use other than just a dedicated broom. It will do the job for us in the broom, but if needed, like he was stating, we can put a bucket on. We can use it for other things. And it would be money well spent.
There may be a time when they're going to a job to put down asphalt, and they've got their loader rolled up and their skid steer load up and go, and all of a sudden they get up there, and maybe in the last couple of nights part of this bank has fell off in the road. And just switch over and put their bucket on this and clean that up and put their broom back on it and clean it and go right on. You know, instead of having to call and have a backhoe or something sent over or something. So it would be a real versatile piece of equipment.
Our plan is to spend about $3 million on blacktop in the next budget. That's what's in there. There's almost $3 million. And it would seem to me that if we're going to put asphalt down, it's going to have to last a while. That's why I was insistent. I told Mr. Little, we're going to pave it, we're going to put tack oil down first, because, you know, it may be a long time before some of these roads get paved again because of the finances. If we're going to do it, we need to do it right, and I'll leave that up to the court, though. That's a decision for the members of the court. So what will be the desire of the court over this situation?
Which one are we going to purchase?
Bobcat.
It'd be my recommendation, if we're going to do that, to buy the Bobcat S76.
From what I can see, the Wilson, it's 22 weeks out, correct?
That's another thing I didn't mention on the case. They told me it'd be 22 weeks before we could get it. On this
Blacktop season
Bobcat
will be over.
S76, they have one actually sitting in Cincinnati right now.
With the broom?
Yes,
How long will it take to get it here?
they said they have it here next week.
So you go with the Bobcat.
About the time you get a road tacked.
Yeah, there's no need to wait 22 weeks out. Well, we'd be out blacktop season.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say, no, I agree.
So go with the Bobcat.
We didn't price a Caterpillar.
I did not. This is something
But
really that just
this was
came up in the
also-
last 2 or 3 days, and I was trying to really try to put something together for this meeting for Fabian as quick as I could.
And this could be partly on me because I was asking him to hurry because I do need this, because this is a need, and these 2 here, am I right, Greg, you didn't have to bid these because they were on,
No. Yeah,
State
they're,
contract.
the Bobcat is on state contract, and the case is on our Sourcewell contract co-op.
I guess we'll buy a Bobcat.
I mean, it just puts us further out if we,
Well, you're getting a multi-piece equipment there.
yeah.
You can
They
always
have-
add another attachment or whatever later on down the road.
We
or
can use it.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
For another $10,000, you're not just getting a sweeper.
If they didn't sell it today, I'd say get the Bobcat. I wouldn't wait if it's still in stock.
Well, do
That's
one-
the biggest thing, is they've
one
got
of
it in
you all
stock,
have a
ready to go.
motion
I'll make one.
to buy a S-76 Bobcat on state contract price for the sum of, with the included sweeper for $47,997.58, and authorization for the treasurer to issue payment for the same. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion?
One thing I gotta say, see if you can still get a hold of them, tell them to get it on down here this week. You don't care, Greg.
We have a motion and a second. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Anything else, sir?
No, sir, thank you.
The trucks that we're getting in, the pickup trucks, that I want to remind the public that, you know, we've had problems over the last 2 winters, this winter particularly with, you know, our trucks that we use for snow removal breaking down. We've essentially replaced all of our mini packer fleet with the same truck, and we're standardizing our fleet between solid waste and the road department, so we're not having to buy different parts, different tires, and what would be the decision of the court? Would it, on these 3 of these, go to the road lots and then 1 to solid waste? Is that correct? Is that the plan?
Definitely one needs to go to solid waste.
Okay. And then, Mr. Fan, you can take necessary steps to, before the next meeting, to try to acquire a easy dump bed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I can do that.
All right. So then, if that's the decision of everybody, then we'll just go ahead and allocate those trucks. Mr. Little, we'll let you decide who gets them and which lots that have the most need. I know that the Belcher Road lot back during the Christmas snow probably had more problems. And we've put 1 new truck on every lot so far. Is that correct?
Correct, and then also Belcher Solid
us-
Waste was kind enough to give us one of their trucks, which was a very good truck, and so it's up there at Belcher also. So they're in decent shape on their trucks.
All right. Thank you very much. Anything else, sir?
No, sir, thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Mr. Little, it's Pike County Road Supervisor's report. We have the recommended, and the Pike County Commissioners' recommended road maintenance list. This is the list of projects assembled by Commissioners Robertson, Commissioner Tackett, and Commissioner Booth. This is again posted on Pike TV on their Facebook page, and also on the Pike TV channel, which shows the work that's scheduled and the work which has been completed. Before we act on this, are we getting pretty much all of the flood damage cleaned up from the February flood?
We are. We still have some that is still out there that we're still working on, but we're getting, yeah, for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. Like I said, there is still some work out there to be done, but it's kind of the smaller stuff now.
And how many of the 10 temporary positions in the road department have we been able to fill?
6.
6 of 10.
Yeah, we
So-
need 4 more. I would call them semi-skilled for those other temporary jobs.
So we have the press here and we have Pike TV. So if anyone is interested in applying for a position on, weed eater labor, or if they have construction experience, potentially as a temporary position as an equipment operator, that could turn in at some point to a full-time position based upon, retirements or people leaving county employment, please let us know. You can apply in the judge's office, or you can contact the road department, and they can give you the information. So, do you have anything you need to advise the court about with regard to the road department? I know you have been paving, couldn't pave today, I guess, because of the weather.
Yes.
And are we going to be able to get all this blacktop money spent in the next fiscal year?
I'll make sure we will.
Okay, that's a good thing. All right. So is there a motion to approve the county commissioners' completed work orders and recommended work orders for the upcoming 2-week period?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Mr. Stacy, Treasurer's business.
Judge, authorize a fund-to-fund appropriation transfer for April 2021 to transfer $3 million from the general fund to the road fund.
Is there a motion to authorize appropriation to transfer for April 2021 to transfer $3 million from the general fund to the road fund? Motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
And to actually get the cash into the road fund, I need to authorize the following inter-fund transfer for April 2021 to transfer $3 million from the general fund to the road fund.
All right. Is there a motion to authorize an inter-fund transfer for April 2021, transfer $3 million from the general fund to the road fund?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Booth. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
Acknowledge receipt of the treasurer's monthly financial statement ending April 30th, 2021.
Is there a motion to acknowledge receipt of the treasurer's monthly financial statement ending April 30th, 2021?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
As part of the budget to send in to DLG, we also have to send in the annual standing order for pre-approved expenses. So I need authorization of an annual standing order for pre-approved certain recurring expenses for fiscal year 2021, 2022.
Is there a motion for a standing order as specified by Mr. Stacy? Motion. We have a motion on a motion for standing order on recurring expenses by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other questions or discussions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. As a courtesy to our department supervisors and employees who are here and any guests, we do have a need for executive session. I don't think it's going to last long, but we do have some personnel issues and some litigation matters to address. If it's okay with the court, I'd like to go ahead and just hear from our department supervisors. So that way, if they've got something they need to do tonight, they've got family matters to attend to, that they can go ahead and be excused.
Good.
Mr. Tackett, anything, sir? All right, Mr. Fann, anything else? Ms. Skaggs, anything from your office? Ms. Goff, somewhere back there, I thought? I see her back there. All right, thank you. Ms. Thacker, anything? Come on up. so we can hear you. Oh, you'd send her back. That's the quietest I've ever seen her.
Okay. We've been looking for a building or property for the Pikeville Senior Citizen Center. And last week, I toured a facility that was for sale, but later, after I toured it, I was informed that they had changed their mind. So I called Philip Ellswick, and he told me that he would get the maps out and see if he could find a piece of property. Because Eric and Sharon told me that they probably could find me some funding to build a building.
So we don't have an answer. I know the piece of property you're talking about. We are looking for an existing structure because we are going to find a place for the Senior Citizen Center. It's probably the most utilized of all the senior citizen centers in the county. And the numbers for that center help drive the funding for all the other centers.
Yes, sir.
So we don't have an answer yet. And I would just go ahead and ask Ms. Hall and Mr. Ratliff to go ahead and be looking for funding, because I mean, it could be as much as $1 million to build a facility similar to the one that you've got there now. I would say at least several $100,000 to do that. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, particularly with building material costs right now. I mean, it was explained to me that, you know, when 2x4s go from $2 to $9, that the tariffs that were imposed on, for instance, Canadian wood products, that's one of the factors that's driving it. And then, you know, the demand because of, you know, excessive money that people have now, or with the stimulus and so forth, that the cost of material are just going through the roof. We would be better off finding an existing structure, I believe. You know, even trying to acquire building materials right now is something that's not easy. So as soon as we can come up with a plan, working with the city, we do have a meeting that we're going to have with the city over Kewanee Road, and I'm sure that one of the meeting issues or one of the agenda items for that meeting will, involve the senior citizens building in Pikeville. So as soon as we know something, there's no quick fix for this. If we have to build a building, it could be a year.
Right.
But we do need to try to locate a facility, and, you know, if anybody has any ideas, we're more than welcome to, you know, we're willing to listen, so.
We had several meetings last week with Big Sandy Ed and the Aging Services out of Frankfurt. And the Aging Services are wanting us to prepare, maybe be ready to open by July the 1st.
Well,
Now, Big Sandy Ed doesn't think that's going to happen.
well,
But I know we won't be ready.
I don't see how we can have a center, a dedicated center in Pikeville open in 2 months. I mean, there's no facilities available that I'm aware of. But if somebody is listening to the program or they have an idea,
Right.
you know, reach out to us, because there may be something we've not thought about. If we do have to try to obtain some source of funding, Eric, Sharon, do y'all have any thoughts on potential funding sources?
Judge, while she's coming to the front, one of the problems is we still have to social distance when we open our building. So they said probably 6 seniors is all that we can have in one of our buildings. Now, when you have 20 to 50, 70 that attend daily, and you say, I can let 6 come today and 6 come tomorrow, we just don't feel like that's going to work anyway. So it's kind of like it's going to give us extended time.
Some of this is beyond our control. just like the building subsidence is beyond our control.
Right.
But keep us advised as to what the guidelines are and what the state decides to do on the senior, reopening the senior citizen centers.
Well, see, that is guidelines from the state. That's nothing that the board had anything to do with or the fiscal court. So I want the seniors to know, I don't want them to get mad at us because that's their guidelines that we have to follow. So we may just keep doing the meals the way we're doing. That's working out perfect.
Sharon, or Diane, before we ask Sharon this question, just so people understand, even though the senior citizens program buildings have been shut down, the home meal delivery program has been continued, and people, senior citizens who needed meal delivery service have continued to receive that throughout the pandemic.
Yes, sir. We deliver about 600 meals a day, and a lot of those seniors have come on since the COVID epidemic that truly would not qualify for a home-delivered meal if, it wasn't for these circumstances. But when we go back, they'll be able to get a meal because they can drive to the center and pick it up or have someone pick it up for them if they don't qualify for a home-delivered meal. But we have kept the home-delivered meal program going really good.
Thank you very much. Y'all have any questions for Ms. Thacker?
Did we ever check on the building down there at mouth of Rattlers Creek? The old federal building?
No, we have not at this time. It's been a point of discussion, and it's, other things came up in between, so that one kept getting pushed back, but.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me about that building is,
Access out.
yes.
It's a bad location.
We have seniors that's trying to pull out across 23.
It's a bad location. I'm not sure that it's handicap accessible or ADA compliant because it is an older building. It may be. I don't know the answer to that. But also, there's going to have to be suited for a commercial kitchen. But I think the location is bad. That's a dangerous location.
I would not want to pull out there myself, and I don't think it'd be a good location for it.
Well, we'll continue to look. I don't think that, that location, but, if we could find an older restaurant location, something that's closed down,
Got that log cabin.
it's something we'd have to look at. I'm not sure it's for sale or whatever, but again,
Climb steps
but
to
you've
get
got to,
to it.
You've got to.
We'd have to have an elevator
You
there.
have to have an elevator.
That's just not going to work because there's steps all through the building. So
I've already thought of all those places.
Well, I thought we was gonna get down in the Kill Edition, but that didn't work out either.
It did not.
So we'll just have to continue to work on it. And then Sharon, what do you think about grants?
Block Grant would love to fund a public building like that. They do fire departments, but they like senior citizens. That's a 50-50 match, but we might could do something with the city. They could apply, we could apply.
Well, I mean, the problem is if it's a $800,000 or $900,000 building, and even if we get 50%, that's a massive hit to the county budget. I mean, that's just not.
Right, we would have to co-apply with the city, let them do half and let us do half.
And we need to look and see I need you to go ahead and reach out to the DLG and see if there's potential ARC funding or
That's
any.
was going to be my next thing. That would be the most practical because we got fire departments lined up with their own money that wants to throw in on CDBG. We're just not able to apply yet because of that closeout problem.
On the,
Care. They did their thing, it's closed out, but DLG will not close it out because they won't do a site visit because of COVID.
well, I'll reach out to Rocky Atkins in the governor's office to see if we can't
See
get
if we
somebody.
can't push them to try to come.
See if we can't get, because you can't have two CDBG grants open at the same time, as I understand it.
No.
So,
But now ARC, you can have multiple applications. It's 80-20. That might be.
and we anticipate that the governor's going to be coming up to next month to announce some awarding of some ARC grants to Pike County on some projects that we've asked for funding for.
Yes.
And when we get the governor up here, it may be time to, try to get that message to him and see if we can't get any help from the governor's office with it.
Right. And then who knows, maybe there's American CARES Act money going into every agency. EDA was totally out because it has to create jobs. But now ARC and CDBG would be the two.
Okay.
if possible.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Vanover, anything from finance? Ms. Clevenger, anything from solid waste management? Mr. Williamson, anything from public works? All right.
We've got a scissors lift borrowed from Marbone Fire Department over at the maintenance garage. And we've been looking at, Wayne Supply's got a used one up there. We went and looked at it Friday. It was an 08 model with 560 hours, and they won $3,950, I believe, for it. We went and looked at it. It wasn't really what we wanted. They had another one, 2014. It's had 180 hours on it. It's $5,912. But it's I've had it for a few months at maintenance garage. They use it on the garbage trucks getting on top. It's a whole lot safer than a ladder. We use it, vice versa. It'll raise 19 foot and capable of 500 pounds on it. We're in desperate need for that for a joint thing for both of us.
Are we ready to do this tonight, Judge Hickman, or we need some time to let Mr. Fannin see what he can? Rick?
I have not exactly seen the unit itself yet.
I haven't seen the unit. We need to get. They will bring it in some, or they give us the pictures, but we need some obligation for we bring it in. It's at a factory. They're using it at a factory right now.
Well, two things I would recommend. One is let's let Greg Fannin see if he can find something. Let's do cost comparison. What we've been trying to do, Paul, is anytime we buy something, compare new to used to get an idea about if we got new, how much more it's going to cost.
Well, a new one of these is $12,000.
How much?
12.
So, but you know, it's what we've done. I just still think I'd like to get Greg to look at it and see what Commissioner Robertson.
Judge, when do we have to take this other one back that we've got borrowed?
And not no certain date on it. I need to get it back pretty soon because I've had it a while.
2 weeks won't kill us, though, will it, Paul? 2 weeks won't break us.
No. It won't bother us on that.
I'd just like to see what our options are.
Well, I like to see that, but I hate those guys over in the garage working on those garbage trucks and be on a ladder.
Well, they're not. We don't have to take it back.
Yeah,
Right?
we got 2 weeks.
Let's go ahead, Greg, and once you get with Mr. Williams to see what we can find, what our options are, this may be the best deal, but I'd at least like to have, some more information, let it go through purchasing, see what we can come up with. And is there any objection to that?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Morley, anything, sir? Mr. Ralph, anything from grant office? Ms. Kaiser, any word back on the cemetery hazard mitigation issue up on Left Fork of Island Creek where the cemeteries? Well, I want you to, if you have to go to somebody above her head, to go above her, over her head, we need to do that because this is a bad situation. As you know, this cemetery could end up coming off the hill, and it's continuing to move, and AML and surface mining have identified a large break up behind it that runs around behind the hill, or around the hill behind the cemetery. And Mr. Little was up there with me the night of the flood, and the amount of water that was coming out of the hill was just remarkable. So we do have some serious concerns because the hill has continued to move even after we put rock baskets in. So I don't know the lady that you're dealing with on this, but if there's any way we could get in touch with her personally or get in touch with her supervisor, then we need to do that because, this is something that, we could have happen, the next big rain event. And, the newspaper, this is something the newspaper probably is not aware of, but Gary could go up and look at it. It's a big problem waiting to happen. So whatever we need to do, Jimmy, to try to get this moving faster, we need to do it. Because it is concerning to me, because I live on that creek and I see what's happening up there. And it's just like the Pond Creek hazard mitigation project that we voted to hire engineering on tonight. This is Fabian, I think you would agree with me, this whole hillside could end up coming off and likely will at some point. Fabian, you can. And there's a lot of graves in that cemetery, and the families, we've met with one lady that's got her husband buried up there, and it's a very sad situation, and we're going to try to help her find a way to do it. We do have some concerns about whether some of the families could afford to relocate the graves, and I don't know how many total graves, but it's a significant number. So we need to move on that as soon as we can, Jim. All right. Mr. Little, anything else? Mr. Maynard, anything? All right. So we're going to leave Colonel Downey and the rest of the comments portion of the agenda until after executive session. Mr. Keene or Mr. Downey, can you please advise the public on the relevant provisions of Kentucky open meeting law as it pertains to entry into executive session for purpose of discussing pending or proposed litigation and specific personnel matters?
We'll need a motion tonight under KRS 61-810 subsection C and F to discuss pending litigation and specific personnel matters.
All right, thank you, sir. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes, we are in recess for executive session. We'll return to call the chair. Is there a motion to adjourn from executive session? Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson? Yes. Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes. It is my motion to approve hiring Christian Mounts temporarily as a laborer for the special road crew at 2H rate of pay effective 4/28/2021, to hire Ethan Morris temporarily as a weed eater at Road Lot 6 at a 2H rate of pay effective 4/29/21, to move all solid waste employees at lots 2, 3, and 5 to solid waste area 1, and to move Tanya Absher to an animal control officer at a 3H rate of pay at the animal shelter effective today. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Tackett. Any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes. Deputy Judge Hickman, you have anything tonight, sir?
No, sir.
Colonel Down, anything?
No, Judge.
Any movement on trying to rework the solid waste ordinance?
Judge, I don't have an update for you,
I'm just gonna take one.
but it'll be October is the roughly time frame that we're.
Okay,
Judge, I have an update.
okay.
We have a conference call tomorrow with some of the solid waste folks in Frankfurt to continue to gather information, and it'll be a very important call.
Okay,
We expect to have a good outcome from that.
all right, thank you, sir. All right, Mr. King, Pike County Attorney, anything? All right, Commissioner Robertson, anything tonight, sir?
I just want to give a little bit of update on the water line project over at Sycamore and Maynard Fork. We have got that submitted, and we have got a emergency basis on that because of the water is bad. So we should be hearing something pretty soon from the ARC. And then the other thing is at Fish Trap Dam, the camping park up there where they park the campers and stuff, they are without water. So I was going to tell you, Frankie, that Glenn Atkins said he's not renting any spaces right now because they have no water up there. They are working on that, but this is part of the emergency thing we've got going on, that we will be trying to tie on to the line on this side of Fish Trap Dam, and then it come into a 2-inch when it went over on the dam side to the the RV park campground. So it will be replaced with a 4-inch line. So that's in, and on the Brushy Creek project, we will be applying to the KIA for a grant on that. And we think we have funding on that, so we don't have to use the CARE money, the 11 million we got there. We think we're going to get that money for that, so we can get that project over there started.
Thank you, Commissioner Roberts. Anything else, sir?
No.
Commissioner Tackett, District 2.
Judge, I had a little note left to me about some trash out in the county, and I just want to touch a little bases with them, or just let the people know about the ATV trails, how we got intentions of keeping them clean. We all up here can't do it. It's going to take people out in the county helping along with us. Cliff Smallwood has been great up in the Dorton area. I think he's worked good with Chuck on some things, and we have, just like the last Friday at the court meeting, we bid out $29,851 for clean up illegal dumps in the Lower Gap Branch, Hurricane Creek, Peter Creek, Stone. Those is, just some of the in the last 3 years, she's gone now. Sharon's gone. 800 some thousand in grants we've awarded in this county. It's going to take time and everybody working together to keep this stuff cleaned up. Whether it's in your neighborhood, my neighborhood, across the county. And other than that, Judge, it's just going to take some hard work, and I think that everybody on this court is set to try to do that.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Booth.
Judge, one thing I have tonight is over in the South Williamson community, we have an incident with some homeless people that's moving in some of these abandoned houses. We've got a lot of abandoned houses, seem like, in the county right now, and I just want those people to know that I give the information that I come up with who owns that house to our assistant county attorney or the county attorney, and he's already looked into the people that owns that, and we can get maybe something started on this situation down there at South Williamson. I know it's caused a lot of problems with breaking into homes and different things down in there. So I just want the people down there in South Williamson to know that this court and the county attorney's office and all has already started proceedings on that situation that they have down there to do what we can, best we can with that problem. That's all I've had tonight.
All right, thank you, sir. I have nothing further to bring before the court. At this time, I would ask if there's any other business to come before the Pike County Fiscal Court. If not, then I would ask Commissioner Booth to say the benediction for us.
Dear Lord, as we come before you tonight, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, watch over all as we travel to our homes tonight, dear Heavenly Father, and Lord, that hopefully, Lord, that we've conducted business tonight, dear Heavenly Father, that will be a delightment unto you, dear Lord. Go with us and watch over us and listen another point in time, dear Heavenly Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson? Yes. Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes, we are adjourned.